Hey there, I'm Christina Johnson, transformational nutrition coach, and I have a private health coaching practice, Christina Johnson Wellness. And today I want to talk to you about one of the most common struggles that people tell me they face when they're trying to lose weight or improve their health or get more energy, and that is that they struggle with being consistent. They struggle to consistently stick with eating healthy and exercising regularly, and that's a big problem for a lot of people, and that obviously gets in their way of being able to get to a healthy weight for their body and to feel better. And so last week I shared a tip with you on one way that you can improve the chances that you'll be consistent with your healthy habits. And so today I want to share with you a second tip on how to do this as well. So today's tip is to use the power of reflection in order to be more consistent and to increase the chances that you'll stick with it long term. So I know that this is possibly something that you hear and you kind of dismiss as maybe not that big of a deal or not that useful or powerful, but I can promise you that it truly is. So I highly encourage you to listen to this whole video because I'm going to share with you why this is such an important skill to master and to do, and then I'll give you 4 specific ideas on how you could start doing this in your daily life. And then lastly, I'm going to end with one action item that you can take away and do throughout the following week and just see if it helps improve your consistency at all. I mean, it's kind of an experiment sometimes to see what works best for you. And so that's what I challenge you to do today. Before I get started, if you think this information would be helpful for anyone else, would you hit the share button or tag a friend or someone who you think would benefit from this information as well? I would greatly appreciate you taking time to do that, so thank you. All right, so let's talk about why this is so important. I am curious if you have ever set a goal or decided that you're gonna work on improving an area of your life or make some changes, and you made that commitment, like I'm gonna start eating healthier, I'm gonna go to the gym 3 times a week, I'm gonna stick to a budget. And you make that decision and you kind of think about it for a few days, but then before you know it, you're so busy with life that kind of gets buried under all the other responsibilities and the to-dos and everything else that you have going on. I mean, how many of you have had that happen to you before? I'd love to hear. Just put a me in the comments or hit the like button if you've ever set a goal. And I think this is what happens with New Year's resolutions. We decide January 1st we're going to set this goal, but then we forget about it. And when we don't stay focused and constantly remind ourselves of what our goals are, it's easy for that to become pushed aside and pushed to the back burner. And I realize how big of an issue this is when I've been working with my private clients over the past couple of years. Because what we do is when I start to work with somebody, we always set really clear, specific goals that they want to accomplish in 6 weeks and then in 3 months. And so we set them, we both kind of write them down so that we have them to reflect back on. And what I'll do then is, I'm kind of keeping these goals in mind to figure out how to best help my clients achieve them. And then we'll get halfway through the program, 6 weeks in, and I'll have this conversation with my clients and I'll say, let's look at your goals for 6 weeks and let's see where you're at and review the progress. And do you know what I hear more often than not? I will hear something like, oh yeah, I did set some goals, didn't I? Or I completely forgot all about that. Or maybe they'll look at the list and be like, oh yeah, I was gonna start sleeping more, getting more hours of sleep, wasn't I? And I think that that's really common, that we set these goals and you might even write them down and then you forget about them. And so that's something that I've been really more intentional about in my own life in the last probably 6 months or so, and it's something that I'm being much more intentional about when I'm working with clients. And so this is where the power of reflection comes in, because what you want to do is you want to regularly remind yourself, I would say at least weekly, of what your goals are and reflect on how it's going. Celebrate what's going well, and then look for any challenges you're facing and think about how you need to tweak or troubleshoot things in order to make you more successful. And the other thing is, you might be doing things to improve your health. Like, I've known a few people that have switched to more of a keto way of eating, and they're doing that for weeks and weeks and weeks. And they think that it's going well for them. But then when we actually sit down and talk about it and reflect on how it's going, they realize they're not really feeling that good. They're more run down, their energy is dipping, or they're having other kinds of issues. So you really want to use the power of reflection to see if what you're doing is actually working or not. In addition to keeping that goal top of mind and to celebrating what you do well. So I have 4 ideas for you on different ways, like practical ways that you can actually start reflecting on your goals. So the first one is what I refer to as my Sunday reflection. This is something I've been doing myself for several months now, and it's really powerful. So what I do is every Sunday, I will set aside just 15 to 30 minutes. It doesn't have to be a long amount of time. But I set aside this time to look at the week that I just finished, to look back and reflect on how it went, and then to look ahead to decide how I want the next week to go. And so here's a few questions I ask myself. And so this is something, I keep a journal where I just, every week write in this journal. It's one of the things I include in there. So here's some questions you might want to go through in this Sunday reflection. I would first start by celebrating what went well. I think the more attention and the more you can highlight the positive things that you're doing makes you feel better about yourself. It makes you feel like you're getting some momentum. It makes you feel more motivated to continue sticking with it. So that's always number one, is just listing out what went really well this week. Did you make it to the gym 3 times? Did you, connect with an old friend to have more like a relational connection? Did you lose 2 pounds, whatever those successes are, you write those down. And then the second thing you can do in your Sunday reflection is to look at what didn't go so well. What challenges did you face? What obstacles did you face? And most importantly, what lesson can you learn from them? So I think that is really important, because you want to take those challenges and really think about what is that teaching you and how can you do something differently the next week. For example, let's say that you had a goal to make it to the gym 4 times last week and you only went once. And so that there was some kind of obstacle there, something happened. And so it's important to think about, okay, what can I learn from this? Did I set my goal too high? Did I just not schedule it in? Maybe what I need to do is actually schedule it into my calendar so I know when I'm going to work out. Am I doing some kind of workout that I just really don't enjoy, so I'm not motivated to do it? So that's the second piece, is just looking at what challenges you faced and what can you learn from them. So that's the reflection back on how the previous week went. Then you want to look ahead and look at the upcoming week and decide what is most important to you in the upcoming week. So is there 1 or 2 habits that you really want to focus on? And not only that, but what do you want to do differently in the next week than what you did in the previous week? So if you set this big goal to go to 4 exercise classes and you realized that you just don't like those exercise classes, maybe your goal is to try a different workout next week. What are you going to do differently that will increase the likelihood of your success? And then in the Sunday reflection time, the other thing that's really helpful for me is to look at my calendar for the next week, and I will schedule in my workouts. I will make sure my meal plan is done for the week, that I've got food prepped for the first few days of the week. Just take care of all those little things that help set you up for success. So that's one way to use the power of reflection, is to set a Sunday reflection time where you just set aside 15 to 30 minutes and you just journal through all these different aspects of your previous week and the week ahead. So that's one idea. My second idea for you is kind of a fun one. It's actually something that I haven't tried really yet, and I'm thinking that I'll probably maybe even start tonight. So I'd love to have people join me. The idea behind this second power of reflection is that we often talk about what we're going to do or what we're going to try to do. I mean, how many times have you said, I'm going to try to eat healthier. I'm going to try to stop eating so much sugar. I'm going to try to drink more water. I don't like that word try, because I feel like it gives us this escape. So we say we're going to try to do something, and it's like we're saying, yeah, I'm going to give it an effort. It might happen, it might not. No big deal either way. There's a lack of commitment when we say we're going to try. So I would first eliminate try from your vocabulary. And secondly, give this new idea a try, which I don't really want to say. But here's the second idea. It is to every day, at the end of the day before you go to bed, make a list of 10 positive actions that you did that day that moved you towards success in your goals. So, for example, at the end of the day, you might list out your 10 things. It might be, I drank 8 glasses of water. I got 8 hours of sleep last night. I exercised. I stuck to my budget for the day. I decided to eat vegetables with every meal of the day. So just, you're writing out 10 things, 10 positive actions, big or small, that you took that will move you closer to your goals. And here's what is so great about this strategy. Number one, it is a constant daily reminder of what your goals are, because you're always thinking about, what am I doing to move closer to my goals? That alone is so powerful. But the other thing is that I really believe it will start to change your behavior. Because after doing this for a few days, what's going to happen is you'll start going through your day and you'll be thinking, oh, I need to make some choices that I'll be able to write down at the end of the day. I need to come up with 10 things. So maybe when you're kind of having that mid-afternoon slump, instead of reaching for a candy bar, you decide, I'm going to have an apple. And then that's something positive that you can write down at the end of the day. And so what you're doing, in essence, is rewiring your brain to look for opportunities to take positive action towards your goal. And that's powerful, because then you're setting your brain up for success. You're setting yourself up for success. So that's my second idea, is to write down 10 positive actions every single day that you are doing to move you closer to your goals. So that might be a fun one to give a try. Okay. Idea number 3 is that, some people are more verbal processors than written ones. And so maybe you want to grab a friend or, a family member, some kind of accountability partner who is motivated. This is the key there. They need to be really motivated to do this as well. But where you can set up a regular time to talk, at least once a week, if not more, where you can just kind of process and reflect through together what's going well, what you need to tweak, what needs to go, be different, what you're focusing on. So that's another idea, is to do this verbally with a friend. And that works really well for some people, to do that verbal processing. I will say, I like a written record, and so you could even, when you're verbally processing, just jot down a few notes as you're talking, because then you can go back and look in that the next week and you can see if you're actually making progress or not. So just a thought. Okay, here's my last idea for you, and that is to work with a coach on the power of reflection. A really good coach is going to know how to ask you good questions that get you to think about things differently, that get you to come up with creative solutions to problems you're having. I mean, honestly, I've worked with several coaches myself, and that's one of the things that I value most, is there can be something like a solution or an issue that's right in front of my face, but I don't see it until the coach, kind of holds a mirror to me and reflects back what is going on. And then it's like this huge aha moment. And I personally love having those aha moments. I love helping other people have those as well. And I think this is one of the reasons why the coaching industry is growing so rapidly. I mean, you have health coaches, life coaches, business coaches, career coaches, and it's because coaches have this really specific skill set, and one of the things they can do is to help you reflect what's going well and really help highlight potential areas for growth and improvement and solutions to your problems, so that you are more likely to see results and to see changes. So those are my 4 ideas for you. A quick recap is to do a Sunday reflection where you're reviewing your previous week and the week ahead. Idea number 2 is to every day list out 10 ideas of what you think is what positive actions that you've taken that day. Idea number 3 is to enlist the help of a friend or family member who will verbally process and review your goals and your week with you. And idea number 4 is to work with a coach, whether it's myself or someone else, who can help you really review and reflect on how you're doing on your health and weight loss goals. So here is my challenge to you. Here's the action, because I don't want you just to listen to this and not experience any changes as a result of this information. So my challenge to you is to choose an action item. So choose one use of reflection that you will commit to trying in the next week. So one of these 4 ideas that I gave you, whether it's a Sunday reflection or the daily list of 10 things or enlisting a friend to process with or working with a coach, choose one thing and commit to it for a week or 2. This is a pretty simple strategy to implement, and I think you'll be surprised by how helpful it is when you really are keeping your goals front of mind and reflecting on your process through them. And if you are interested in working with a coach, then of course I would be happy to talk with you more about that, to just kind of understand what your situation is, to see what your struggles are, and to see if what I do is a good fit for you or not. And really what I do when I'm working with people is I specialize in helping people create a healthy lifestyle so that they can lose weight and have more energy and reduce their risk of future health diseases so that they can live a long, healthy, full, active life. So if that is something that you would love to have some help in and just want to learn more information about, then either comment below or go to ChristinaJohnsonWellness.com/apply, and you can apply for a complimentary discovery session where we'll get on the phone and we'll just talk for about 30 minutes or so and see if I'm a good fit for the needs and the issues that you're having right now. So please feel free to reach out if I can help you in any way. And if you are watching this on Facebook, make sure that you've liked my page so that you see the upcoming videos with future health tips that I'm sharing. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you're notified when I go live with new videos, and share this video if it's been helpful for you. So I'd love to hear if you have any questions or comments. Please put them below. Let me know in the comments what action step you're going to take, and I will be back here next week with another tip for you. So I will talk to you then. Bye.